Hi folks, today is June 4th, 2008. This is part 3 of my video series, and I'm going to talk today about the price of oil. But before I talk about the price of oil, I wanted to just conclude by part 2, which is about the global warming problem. And I basically just wanted to talk about what I think people should be doing about the global warming problem. Basically, I have to say that any additional taxation on energy to combat CO2 emissions is a bad idea, and anybody in the know should definitely oppose vigorously that type of action. It's in all likelihood, the carbon factor is really not a part of the equation for global temperature. Now, as far as oil price goes, the bottom line is it's probably going to continue to rise, and the $200 a barrel figure that they're throwing out to scare people is by no means the theoretical limit of its upward travel. There are 3 reasons why I believe the price of oil is going up. Number 1, and probably or maybe the most important today, is the value of the dollar. The US dollar is dropping, which is the world currency. It's dropping in value, and of course that means it takes more dollars to buy everything, including oil. The reason why the dollar is dropping is because the banking system of the Western world is defective by design, and that's really another topic that I'll cover in another video, but basically that's synopsis is there is a fault in the system which is causing all fiat currencies to drop in value. The United States dollar is not the only one that's dropping in value. All fiat currencies are being inflated right now and are dropping in value. The only thing is the US dollar is just dropping a little faster than the others. The second reason why the price of oil is going up is, I lump the two together, supply and speculation. Big players know that investing money in a commodity, large amounts of money, can cause an artificial demand that inflates the price. And of course, this is not really much of a concern long term, because what happens is obviously all speculators at some point sell, and then the price comes down again. But I'm going to lump speculation into a second category, which most people refer to as peak oil. Now, peak oil is the theory that there's a finite amount of oil, and it gets harder and harder to get out of the ground over time, because obviously you're getting less for your efforts. There's probably a little bit of truth to that, but I look at it this way. If I were sitting on a huge amount of oil, and there was price was rising, I would myself tend to turn down the spigot slightly, just to make sure that down the road I get more money for what I'm selling. And I believe that's what the peak oil thing is all about. It's about it's a campaign to convince people that we're running out, and that therefore supply is going to dwindle, and therefore the price is going to go up. It's basically another form of speculation. It's been predicted that there would be a shortage of oil ever since I can remember. I can remember 40 years ago they were talking about 20 years supply at the current consumption rate. Never materialized. They've predicted oil peaks a number of occasions, and has never happened. So I lump the peak oil people in with the speculators. There's also another theory called abiogenic oil, which is a theory that says the dinosaurs and other biomass did not create the supply of oil we have on the planet now. It's the theory is it's produced somehow magically inside the earth, and it's a renewable resource. The Russians have been studying that for a number of years, and supposedly now there are some very, very deep wells that are producing oil, and that's why Russia is becoming one of the largest exporters of oil. It's a major player in the export market, and it's actually a bigger player than Saudi Arabia is now. If you look at oil as being a fossil fuel, it's kind of hard to believe that many dinosaurs have died in the right conditions, or other biomass died in the right conditions to produce the amount of oil we already know exists on the planet. It's the second most plentiful liquid on the earth besides water. So I think that biogenic fuel could well be an accurate description of what of how the oil is actually present. I guess number 3, for the reason for increasing prices, is demand. There are more people in a position to enjoy the benefits of oil, mainly China. The middle class there is beginning to develop, and they are starting to want some of the things that we have, and they are starting to consume oil at a higher rate. But if you bring into the equation population growth as being a part of the problem, I'm not going to buy that, because we already know that about 60% of the world's population earns less than $2 a day, and they're not buying $125 a barrel oil. Another point to consider is OPEC, which is supposedly there to regulate the price of oil and supply. It's a cartel, and as far as I know, most cartels are really set up to suppress competition, and that's exactly what I believe OPEC is. It's an agreement among oil producers to keep the price where they want it and get it to go where they want it, plain and simple. Now, the consequences, of course, of oil price going up, which I believe is going to happen, is going to continue to happen, are basically negative for the average Joe, because what's happening obviously is it's going to increase the cost of everything we're consuming. Oil is a major part in everything, plastics, food production, all forms of transportation of all types of goods, and so the price of oil going up is going to have an impact on the prices of everything, and that's a very bad thing, because right now the economy, because of the banking problems with the weakening currency, it's going to make things worse. It will cause a drop off in the demand of oil, and this really means is that the standard of living of the people consuming the oil is going to drop, because they're not going to be able to have as much as consumption as they're used to. So it's a negative impact all the way around. And that concludes part 3 of my video series. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.